CSGO seems to have more of a reputation for its frustrating moments nowadays, but what about those rewarding moments of accomplishment, the celebration of skill, or even luck? My name is Braden, and welcome to Valve Guides. CSGO Empire is the #1 site for fun entertainment in the CS community. Make sure to follow them on Twitter for consistent giveaways, and you can use our code GUIDES for 50 cents for free to start betting. It's almost like we forget that sometimes CSGO is an incredible game with really rewarding mechanics and pretty much the only game of its kind, and we can argue that last point for a while, but when it gets to the smaller details, CSGO is truly one of a kind. Going through and describing these moments may sound a bit generic to those who haven't played the game, but for those who have played the game, you'll know all too well that these feelings are just different in CSGO, and you'll have to work and grind for your own personal skill, not just so that you can get higher leveled gear so that you always have an advantage, because every game starts fresh. With all that being said, here are the top 10 rewarding and feel-good moments in CSGO. At number 10, hitting that shot that you really didn't think that you were gonna hit. Whether that's hitting a one-tap with rifles or a deagle, it's extremely satisfying, because most of the time it will anger your enemy and feels good for you yourself. Not to mention flick shots or reacting to your opponent more quickly than they thought you might. Maybe they started shooting you and you 180'd and killed them pretty quickly, and that's all it takes to just feel a sense of superior power. Or what about this? You hit a no-scope with an op, or God forbid, a no-scope with an SSG. Now, whether it's luck or incredible game sense, that will entirely depend on your scenario, but either way, it feels incredible. You can get collateral shots, you can get jumping and falling kills, you can get bunny hopping kills, and you can shoot people off of a ladder. There's tons of opportunity for incredible shots in CSGO, and I know if you haven't played CSGO, all of that sounds really stupid, like why is it a big deal to shoot somebody off of a ladder? But the mechanics in CSGO make these things incredibly difficult. I mean, you can't even aim down the sights with most guns, and the aim control and recoil is insane. So really, any of these things are really incredible to hit. Number 9, we have winning a round that you shouldn't have. Winning a full save round where you bought maybe nothing, or maybe just a nade or two, maybe a P250, whatever, just a crappy save round that you're pretty much sure that you're gonna lose, and coming through and winning, maybe you get the entry kill, you get a rifle, and you just mow the rest of the enemies down. There's not much that feels better than this. Even if it's an eco where you're buying SMGs and just body armor, there's nothing quite like winning with an absolute disadvantage to your team. And again, whether it's luck or skill will entirely depend on your situation, but if it's skill, man, that has to be really rewarding to pay off, especially in the pro scene. When you see an eco come through, ooh, nothing else like it. Number 8, wall bangs and smoke kills.
On point. Oh, he's actually gonna blow the door. I like that.
Nice.
Oh, if he
Spam.
A lot of times people will spam through walls to no avail, but occasionally you will get those kills where either you just shoot from across the map and it goes through a wall and headshots an enemy, and you don't exactly know what happened when you see the kill confirmed at the top part of the screen, and it takes just that moment of silence, and then depending on what your team is like, everybody starts screaming, and ooh.
Okay.
He's hacking.
It's basically like hitting a full court shot in basketball at the buzzer. That's essentially the equivalent of a wall bang. Number 7, we have humiliation kills. Getting Zeus kills where you had to save on a round and you decided to invest $200 for a one-shot weapon that you can only use from a person that's like 2 feet away from you. Really a stupid decision, but when you manage to pull it off, dang. They're just like jiggling on the floor, just like, yo, you know, you tased them and they're dead. Getting a knife kill, which is pretty much the ultimate humiliation tool. If somebody's just cluelessly in front of you and you can stab them from the behind with the one hit, or if you do the 3 slash to kill them, that's even more humiliating. And not to mention that you get $1,500 off of them when you knife them. And we haven't even talked about grenade impact kills, which probably most of you have never had, because that's really, really rare to get. An impact grenade kill is where you throw a grenade at an enemy, but you don't kill them with the explosion of the grenade. You literally kill them with the grenade hitting their body, which does 1 damage. So if they're on 1 HP and you toss a nade at them and it just like plops their face, they're dead before the grenade even goes off. This is really rare, but you know, when you pull it off, hope that you had Shadowplay on or Plays.tv on, because you're gonna want to clip that. Number 6 is grenade kills. Hitting a bunch of enemies with 1 grenade and just damaging them all, and then seeing the assists rack up as you put little to no no effort into it, or getting a Molotov that takes out maybe 3 enemies at a time, there's no limit to the satisfaction that a grenade can bring you in CSGO. And especially if the players are already damaged and you just toss a regular grenade in there and, I don't know, kill 2 or 3 people. You know, this sounds really messed up saying it, but I'm talking about CSGO, so it's good, right? Yeah, it's all good. Also, using a nade so that enemies will die to the bomb explosion is a pretty satisfying thing too. If you can manage to get a grenade off, even if you know you're going to lose the round, but know that the bomb explosion will kill the enemy.
Bring more.
This is so smart. Oh, this is huge. Doji's throwing a nade into the corner just as the bomb's going to go off. They're both going to go down.
That's something that actually takes a lot of game sense and awareness to master, but it's subtle. Even though you don't fully win the situation, you get a little more out of it than you originally would have. Number 5 is ranking up. Plain and simple, ranking up means that your skill has increased and you can move on to the next level and then hopefully not get deranked because you deserve to be up there, right? Is anybody still complaining about the massive derank update like 2 years ago? Is that still a thing? But ranking up is a pretty simple overall mechanic, but within CSGO is one of the most satisfying things because it's a hard ladder to climb up, especially if you're playing alone. Number 4 is obtaining a rare item. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to happen when unboxing a crate, but that's usually where it does happen. Personally, for me, I think the first crate I ever opened was like a $40 skin. And so that it was the second crate I ever opened was a $40 skin. And that kind of set me on a path of unboxing like $150 worth of crates and never getting anything that was worth more than my second crate. But that one crate that I unboxed where I got the $40 skin was an incredible feeling. Not to mention when you have a Dragon Lore or a Karambit in your inventory, like the Karambit I just gave away, it feels good. Plain and simple, it feels good. Totally unnecessary, but if you have the luxury, then why not, you know? I wouldn't suggest investing a ton of money into buying a $500 skin just to have it. But if you happen to unbox one, say you just randomly decide to drop $250 and unbox something and you get a knife, there's not much that feels better than spending $2.50 to potentially get a few $100 or having a better in-game item if you don't want to sell it. It's totally up to you. That's the greatest part. Number 3 is getting an ace. Getting an ace is pretty simple. It's when you personally see to the destruction of the entire enemy team. When I mean the entire enemy team, I mean all 5 people. You get the kills, easy ace, right? Pretty easy. Now, there are some incredible ways to get aces, and with all of the stuff above that we've talked about getting kills, if you combine any of those with getting an ace, say you like get an ace by knifing everybody, or you get an ace by wallbanging people, it just adds on. It stacks up. It's a freaking, I don't know. It's incredible. It's an incredible feeling. That's the whole point of all this. Number 2 is getting a good team. If you're a solo queuer or you play with 2 or maybe even 3 friends and you get queued with crappy teams all the time, you're not alone, because that's just a fact of matchmaking and competitive games, is you're most likely not going to get paired with people that think along the same lines as you. And whether or not they are actually crappy, you might just not get along together or your skills don't mesh well together. So there is a difference between not getting a good team and just getting a team that you don't like or don't work well with. In this case, I mean getting a team that you work well with and is on the same level, if not a higher skill level than you are. With how often you do get paired with people that you don't like or don't get along with or are just not good or are trolling, it is an incredibly satisfying experience to get a wholesome team that you get along with and that you can have a good time with, and also just, I don't know, destroy the other team with. You know, you can just like pop a cold one with the boys and just like, oh shoot, that's fizzing all over me. Gosh dang it. Okay. Hold on. Number 1 is using a very, very off angle. Team Mystic was playing a game of Cash when all of a sudden they pulled this out.
There's a gap in the door.
Oh my god, pulling your god.
Nerd.
You're a god. Oh god, dude, he's top. Oh!
I don't know what's happening, dude.
In this clip, you can see they used a trick to create a small crack through a squeaky door and were able to pick up a kill through it. Now, I don't know if you've ever found a little hidden spot like this, but this is an incredible feeling, especially with like, you know, Fnatic getting the triple man boost. Just finding something that maybe hasn't ever been used before or not many people know about and being able to pick up kills with it. You can perfectly encompass what a good feeling in CSGO is like from these moments. Jason R, the professional CSGO streamer was playing a game of Mirage, playing mid, when he did this little trick. And as you can see from the clip, at the end, he was able to throw a smoke where a little crack in it formed. I think you get the picture, but geez, I still got liquid all over me from spilling my drink. So I'm gonna go now. I hope you enjoyed the video.